Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second show match of the day with Silver and Tilted versus KT Rollercoaster. This is Penguin God filling in the play-by-play with Exline coming back in for the clutch color casting. How you doing, Exline?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. We're excited to see this pick ban underway. Excited to get this best of two series going. Now, we will give you a little bit of a spoiler. This is all already done in Pro Draft, so we will emphasize things as they come. But here we go with some bans coming through. What do you think of these so far, Xline?
So Skarner definitely really powerful jungle pick right now. Not really a huge surprise that he gets banned out early. I believe Kaisa was a target ban that Vespion was actually complaining about in the chat, asking why they target banned him. But it'll be interesting to see how he responds to that. Vladimir and Gangplank. I didn't necessarily see a lot of those in the op GGs I was checking. I'm not super familiar with the players, but that might just be a matchup thing.
Yeah, it might just be, but we also see here the Shen to Ornn pickup. Now, if I remember correctly, this is pretty heavily in favor of the Ornn if he can get that going, but Jackson to Shaco. Then that's an interesting matchup. What do you think about that, X-Line?
So Jax is super strong right now, and actually both these junglers play a lot of Jax. So that was definitely a really contested pick. He was actually first picked by KT Rollercoaster. I think Jax is the stronger jungler overall. I think he just has too much going on for him right now in this meta. But Shaco is still someone who could do a lot of damage in the hands of somebody who's experienced with Shaco. And Arthuros, even though he does play Jax the most, he is still a pretty good Shaco player, at least based on what I could see in his off GG from his win rate and his play rate. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do with that. There's some really creative gank paths, obviously, that Shaco can do, and both of them are pretty good at split pushing as well. So it'll be interesting to see how exactly they decide to leverage that in the game.
Yeah, you make a good point. Now, moving on to the mid lane here, we have Orianna into Yasuo. Orianna does usually win that matchup because she can poke out the Yasuo early, but if Yasuo plays aggressive enough, he can engage onto the Orianna and get her out of the lane. But then moving down to the bot side, we have the Xayah and Morgana picked up against the Varus, and the support they pick is Zyra. That's going to end up being essentially two poke comps versus each other in the bot lane. But I will mention that the comp coming out of that is Team KT Rolster, they have primarily AD. Varus does have some AP scaling on his W, that blighted quiver, but he doesn't really build that heavily into it. So the tank line, which is literally just Yasuo out of Silver and Tilted, is going to have an easy time building against them.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the team comp. They do have some incidental magic damage, like you said, with Varus's Blighted Quiver, as well as I think Jax's ultimate does like some magic damage. Ornn's
Yeah.
going to do a little bit of magic damage, and of course Zyra is magic. But for the most part, they're going to be doing primarily physical damage, which will make itemization a little bit easier. But we'll certainly see how all that plays out. I do think Oriana should get the better of the mid lane matchup, but uh, if the Yasuo player is able to get an early lead and kind of snowball and then feed that into the other lanes, it could get really interesting.
Yeah, that's true. We might want to mention though that the incidental damage, the incidental magic damage coming out of the red side here, it's not really something to be worried about in my opinion. There's just like the
No, I don't think so.
there's just the Gwynsu's that might come out of Jax, the damage coming out from Ornn, but other than that, you have to remember that they're going into a fairly squishy comp with Shaco, Orianna, Xayah, and Morgana. Shen's really going to be the only one that's going to build tanky against them, and so he's the only one they have to worry about. So uh, the Orianna is gonna have to play really careful and really need to place that ball in the proper places so that she can get the shockwave onto the important members of Varus Zyra. I think that Silver and Tilted can deal with the front line of Orange Jax Yasuo if they can burst out Varus and Zyra.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting because both teams kind of have a couple of split pushers on their team with Shaco and Shen on one side and Yasuo and Jax on the other. And neither team is really super adept at team fighting. Obviously, Zaya and Oriana, team fighting is great. That's exactly what you want to be doing with them. Of course, Varus and Zyra are fine in that regard as well. But it is not like a really decisive team comp that jumps out at you from either side in terms of what they want to do. So we may end up seeing some team fights as that just tends to happen in the game of League of Legends, but I don't think either side is decidedly advantaged in that regard. Like Shaco, you don't really think of as a team fighter in nature. Obviously, Yasuo and Jax, despite being great in the split push, still have abilities to do work in team fights, but that's not necessarily where they excel. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how those teams kind of play that out as we move into the mid game and out of the laning phase. But I think
Yeah.
it will be primarily dictated by who wins the lanes in terms of what kind of advantages we see at that point.
Yep, I will mention that it seems like red side has the safer team comp, or sorry, blue side has the safer team comp as far as team kiting and protection goes. They have the Shen staying united, Zaya's ult, Morgana's Q. Like it's gonna be harder for red side to get on them, and we'll have to see how KT Rollercoaster plays around that. But while we wait out the last half minute of the spectator delay and load into the game, we're gonna send it over some music, and we will see you guys in just a minute.
Just you and me, the open road, light beams fly by. Driving for 1,000 miles, there's nowhere else I wanna be. Here with you, and you with me. Driving with you. Let me take you far from here. Driving with you. The whole world disappears. Driving with you. Let me take you far from here. Driving with you. The whole world disappears, disappears, disappears. Driving with you. Let me take you far from here. Driving with you. The whole world disappears. Driving with you. Let me take you far from here. Driving with you. The whole world disappears, disappears, disappears.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Loading onto the Rift, we are in the first game of this best of two series for the second show match of the weekend. I am Penguin God, joined here by Exline, and we're going to be hopping onto the Rift with blue side, Silver and Tilted, with Chase in the top lane, Aetherios in the jungle, Imperly on the Orianna in the mid lane, Scruffles on the bot, and supporting him is Crimson Lotus.
On the other side, we have Jabbermonkey in the top lane, Opum in the jungle, Acteron in the mid lane, Vespeon on AD carry, and GT28 at support. You see a little bit of action going on here early in the tri-bush, getting some wards there.
Yeah, that was kind of like a battle for the vision there. One thing you can do against Shaco, you don't even have to like kill him or push him out of his jungle early, but if you can get him out and activate his boxes level 1, he's really crippled as far as what he can do in the early jungle clears. He tries
Yeah,
to get those boxes down right on time. They do as much damage as possible to the first buff, but the getting those boxes procced is super good against Shaco. He just doesn't. His damage is just gutted if he has to happen against him.
I suspect that is why KT Roller Coaster was moving as a group into that brush to try to get over there and proc those boxes. And then, of course, Silver and Tilted was there waiting for that to prevent that from happening. So we'll play by both sides there.
That was smart of Crimson Lotus to recognize that and position himself in that tri-bush so that he can grab that Dark Binding. It was smart on the side of KT Roller Coaster to do that though, and not commit too hard to ruin the jungle clear. They would have died for it. But Crimson Lotus taking a lot of damage for a single auto attack. He ate so
Yeah,
much damage there, and all he got was a single auto attack out of it.
missed binding. That's potentially a window to engage and get some damage in without being able to be punished back, but
Yeah,
not taken advantage of by KT Roller Coaster.
to be fair, the KT Roller Coaster doesn't have the really the engaged sort of bot lane. They kind of have the poke and just happen to get damage down. But oh my god, Chase almost 1v1ing Jabber Monkey already. Oh, nice Dark Binding landing onto Vespion. Vespion already rooted up, and getting the returned Grasping Roots onto Scruffles there does save his AD carry though. Jabber Monkey is so low in this lane. He started with a Corrupting Potion, so he'll be at about 2/3, 3/4 health after this, but he'll have no potions left, which means that trading isn't going to happen nearly as often.
Both junglers meeting at the top scuttle as they both started bot side, as both should be aware of based on the leash patterns from the bottom lane. When you see them walk in the lane like that, you know where the jungler started, especially if the top lane doesn't do like a fake leash or anything like that. So Jack's being cautious, checking the river, saw Shaco was taking the scuttle, and just wisely backed up.
Very, very smart. So, we will mention that this is patch 8.6, if I remember correctly. So, the changes to the lane minions have gone through. The cannon minions are now worth far more gold than their counterparts, and they are worth even more gold as the game goes on. And the melee and caster minions aren't worth as much gold anymore. Particularly the caster minions are worth like 3 gold less. So battling over lane minions isn't as important as battling over that first cannon, and we see here that it's going to start up. The second cannon I think is going to be coming up pretty quick. We already have the first cannon happen in the top lane, and the fight happening bot lane not going to happen again. The Dark Binding missing.
Shaco kind of hovered around mid, trying to make something happen with Yasuo playing passive. So it looks like Shaco's just going to go back and farm his raids here. Jack's going to get a recall and just get his skirmish for Saber. I think he will probably try to path towards his Krugs and then towards relieving pressure in the top side, but he may decide to try to make something happen elsewhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that he would go towards Krugs right now. That's pretty much the only camp he's got up, especially because he started at bot side. The smartest thing for him to do is probably going to be grab his Krugs and try and get top lane at this point. Top lane is, ooh, the Dark Binding going down though. GT28 going down, first blood going on to Scruffles. Chase looking like he was going to try and go a little bit further, but cooldowns were not up for him. But Scruffles getting the first blood on the GT28, not really respecting the damage coming out of that Xayah early on. Oh, but the gank coming out here. Opum going to get the kill onto Chase. Good job, Opum, on that Jax coming in for the gank, like I said, but he stopped doing his Krug, so those are still up for him to take as well.
Yeah, it looks like he just saw an opportunity where Chase was still pushed up on Shen, and he was able to come in behind with a nice counter strike and jump in there. So you generally want to try to get that first respawn of Krugs killed so that you go ahead and get the timer going on the second respawn. But obviously, if you've got the chance to get a successful gank and help out your laners, you go ahead and take that. So
Yeah.
we'll see him clear that out and then probably path down towards mid lane.
Yeah, although I will point out mid lane is pretty good in favor of Amperly here. Acterion is trying to get that damage and being aggressive, but Amperly is understanding of what Acterion is trying to do in this lane, and keeping it cool, keeping it calm, just kind of auto attacking. That clockwork wind up from Oriana does a good bit of damage when you're just continuously auto attacking. So it's a good way to trade back when you don't have a whole lot of mana. He doesn't have a whole lot right now, but we also have some changes to Mana Flow Band and Presence of Mind, so let's see if those come into play too.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily agree with Jax's recall there. He did get the kill and had some extra gold to spend, but I think I would have liked heading towards mid. Then of course once you also has to back, then picking up your farm and kind of rotating towards the bottom side. I think it was a little bit of efficiency by just backing and then clearing out your blue side jungle and then still having the rates up over on your red side. But it looks like he isn't getting punished too hard for it because it doesn't look like Shaco's putting down a ton of pressure elsewhere on the map. And they are reasonably close in farm, so not the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah, that's one thing Shaco you should be excelling at is that early pressure, that those early ganks. But he hasn't gotten any off. He's just been trying to CS and get some farm and Dark Harvest stacks. But that's all that's going on here. A lot of pings going down on the mid side. Crimson Lotus looking for a Dark Binding, not gonna hit. Oh, it does hit, but it's too far away. Just too far
part
away.
of the issue is Chico's lanes have been kind of shoved up, so he doesn't really have a great angle to put a lot of pressure down. So what he should be doing, I think, is putting pressure down on the Jax in his jungle, and at the very least getting vision on Jax so we can kind of follow where he is. Because the best thing you can do for your laners, if they're pushed up like that and they have that lane presence and that lane dominance, is make sure they have vision of a potential gank path from the jungler. So if you can get those wards down and know when Jax is coming, you're not going to have those ganks like he was able to pull off on the Shem, and they're going to see that coming. So you kind of have to be aware of what your laners are needing at any particular time, whether it's relief of pressure or just making sure to continue whatever dominance they already have.
Exactly. That's one thing that Shaco can do is traverse this terrain quickly and get the vision control down, but Jax looks like he's going to go to bot side. Opoom.
Looks like we're going to have a 3v3 skirmish here.
Athreos is down here, and they don't know he's there. There was no vision spotting him out, but he looks like he's not going to stick around for too long. He is kind of hesitant as to what he's doing. Yeah, he realizes that he's not going to get anything done. He's pushing the tower, but it looks like the return going to come out from Opoom. It looks like he's going to try and hop over the wall. But we'll have to see if he does that.
He's looking for it, but it looks like he's quite hesitant.
Yeah, neither team really wants to pull the trigger here.
He's losing a lot of time down here. We were talking about jungle efficiency earlier. The entire top side is up right now, and Shaco's just going back to farming. I imagine he's going to go probably pick up his blue after this, and then look either do something mid or top side.
He's finally gone over. He goes over, he gets the stun onto Crimson Lotus. Crimson Lotus having to get the ult from Shen on him, but he still goes down. Scruffle's going to get the root out to save his own life, but then Amperly getting killed by Acterion in the mid lane. Acterion getting a lot of damage onto him. Then the top lane, the Chase is heading up Jabbermonkey, probably for interrupting that ult, or getting it stopped at least. But nothing getting done in the mid lane, nothing getting done in the top lane, but that one kill onto Crimson Lotus. Oh, never mind, the root onto Vespion, the return flash, doesn't quite get it. The extra move speed does get it. Alright. Jabbermonkey to getting beaten up in that top lane. But yeah, that was a little awkward. It was a little awkward. He could have rotated to try and take that dragon, but he decided to stay in and try to get some farm and ended up costing him his life.
They did actually end up getting the kill for all that time that Jax invested when Morgana went to go ward in the brush there. So his patience was rewarded, and they actually were going to get a dragon out of it until Varus decided to try to 1v1 the Xayah instead of going with his team to the Drake. I don't know if there was some miscommunication there or what, but if the call was for dragon, they should have all three been on dragon. If they wanted to try to pressure Xayah, shove the lane, and dive, they should have all three been on that. So.
Yeah, there was a kind of a mixed call there on the side of Rollercoaster, but we see that Opoom just went mid and picked up a kill for his troubles. Empire Lee had stayed mid when he was really low. Really low, and they just paid the price for it.
Yeah, sometimes when you greed for those waves, you get punished, and especially when you knew they were just around dragon a second ago. That's a little tough to swallow, but you know.
Yeah, that's when you just kind of like cut your. That's kind of like when you cut your losses and just back at that point. You realize that they just tried to do dragon. They're probably gonna look for some way to make that up because they didn't get it, and so you know they're gonna try and gank you. So why stay at that point? But we see some gold leads coming in this game. We have a total of about 1,000 gold lead for Team Silver and Tilted. It's a little bit less, about 500 now. But Acterion looking to get engaged on. The Shockwave getting blocked by the Wind Wall. Nice job.
That's pretty sick. We do see Jax with a pretty sizable gold lead over the Shaco on the back of those kills that he was able to pick up. Even though, like I mentioned, there's been a little bit of a lack of efficiency in terms of farming. Um, he is still ahead of the Shaco in overall farm, and obviously has that kill advantage. So he does have that finished Cinderhulk, which I think is the better item for Jax jungle. I know a lot of people like to go Blood Razor because it does give him tons of damage, but his kit has so much innate damage in it already that I think Cinderhulk is just generally the best item.
Yeah, I
Pro
agree.
play would also agree.
Yeah, I agree. Cinderhulk is generally going to be better on Jax. Chase getting some return damage on a Jabbermonkey after Jabbermonkey did some CC on him.
That was a really aggressive counter strike into the Black Shield, especially with the Zaya ult following that up. I don't know if I like
Shaco's
that
here
call.
though. The dive going in, Acterion getting, not Acterion, sorry, Opum getting killed under a tower.
Yeah, I don't like either of those calls. I think
Yeah,
those were both entirely too greedy.
a little bit,
Even if
yeah.
Shaco's not there, I don't think you have kill potential. Uh, like you know the heal's up, so yeah, I don't like that call.
Yeah, that was just pretty bad overall. You know the heal's up. You know the Shaco could be down there somewhere. You know that you don't really have a whole lot of kill pressure if the Morgana ults, so why go for it? There's no real reason to kill yourself under tower for that. I mean, I guess maybe like you get another kill under your belt, but you never know.
So that is one of the things that that Shaco gives you, because he is so slippery and so mobile. Oftentimes people just don't know where you are, and sometimes they'll make plays like that. We got some action on top lane here.
Nice dodge out from
Sometimes they'll
Chase.
make plays where they don't know where you are, and you're in range to kind of counter gank and punish them for it. So we saw that kind of pay off there.
Yeah, we did. But we'll probably see here in this top lane, we're gonna see Chase go for that Titanic Hydra first to try and beat out Jabbermonkey in this top lane as far as the pushing power goes. Jabbermonkey went for the spear, or not the spirit visage, sorry, the Sunfire Cape first to clear the waves as best he can and get some armor and health against this Shen, who's gonna be smacking him in the face over and over again.
I think both of them should be able to clear out the waves pretty easily here. Shen, obviously, well known for his ability to clear waves with Titanic Hydra, but Sunfire Cape also buffed a couple patches ago to go back to damaging the minions as well. So
Yep. We see here, though, the gold lead is now actually 1,000 gold in favor of Silver and Tilted. But Opum gonna get some damage on Amperly. Amperly gonna get the Shen ult on him. Shen gonna taunt up Opum to get the kill. Now, Jack's going from 2-0 to 2-2. Not very good for him here.
yeah, it's a little unfortunate because that Orianna just kind of face checked him instead of placing a ward over in that side brush, but then Shen being Shen just kind of punishes you for being in a 1v1 duel. Well played by Orion to get the ult down and then have Shen come in and finish him off with the taunt.
Yep, that was good on him. The Stand United being very useful in this game in that sense. Acterion looking like he's going to go ham for Amperi here, but not going to go too hard, just kind of doing Yasuo things there. He did run Conqueror, which is really important to note, because he's going to do some true damage with his abilities, giving him an extra reason to build even more damage rather than go for a slightly more bruiser build that I've seen lately. Some Yasuos I've seen have gone to bruiser build and tried to out-sustain the enemy laner rather than just straight up kill them. But this signals to me that he just wants to kill everyone as fast as he can.
Yeah, the so-called tank Yasuo with the frozen mallet for the slows and just the extra survivability. I think the general idea there is he just has so much damage in his kit that surviving is what you want to do. But it looks like he is going for a more damage-focused build, which is probably fine for your mid lane Yasuo. You've got the Ornn and the Jax, the tank line.
Yeah, exactly. So at this point, this is going to start the early part of the mid game, and the teams need to start getting out of the lanes. Ooh, the shockwave going in. Acterion really low. The ignite on him from Athreos. Athreos going to go in to try and get the kill, but no. The ball from Amperly gets it. Acterion going down for the first time in this lane.
That was pretty short cooldown on the ultimate. I assume he's probably running ultimate hat to be going with Area there.
Yep.
But probably caught Acterion by surprise, and then of course the Shaco almost definitely caught him by surprise as he got right into that trap. The Shaco laid the box there. So really unfortunate. Things are definitely starting to favor Silver and Tilted here with a 6-3 score and a 2K gold lead. We kind of predicted they were going to have a little bit of the advantage in lane. I think Oriana generally does pretty well against Yasuo. You mentioned Shen over Ornn. So we are seeing a little bit of an advantage there, as well as, of course, the bottom lane. Xayah is currently 4-0, winning a couple of those early fights down there in bottom lane. So we'll see if this continues once the laning phase ends and we start moving more into
She was able to pick up 4 kills in this lane. She is only about 20 CS up, but that is solid plus the 4 kills. She is kind of a monster, but the ult 2 flashes going down. Although Crimson Lotus's flash was a little short. With the teleport coming in from Chase here to re-engage, probably going to try and kill the support here. GT28 not going to go down to the Shen. The fight is split. Opun now going to be the focus. Opun going to go down to Scruffle. Scruffle's getting another kill up for 5-0 on this Xayah. Oh, Vespion not noticing the Oriana there. Ooh, boy, that was...
Scruffles has a lot of say over how these fights go right now. He is pretty big.
Oh, Scruffles gets another kill onto the Yasuo. G228 surviving, though. I will give him credit for that.
This should be first tower here. I guess Shen just wants to back and go up towards top side. They should be able to get this without him.
So we saw there that was mostly Scruffles and Crimson Lotus playing it well. The fight was split, and Vespion had the typical, okay, I got out, and I'm going to go in my shop for a bit and just buy my item. But he didn't notice the Oriana coming to kill him. So kind of hard on him. He's going to get a talker from his coach.
Flash forward from Varus there to try to get the Chain of Corruption. And, of course, he bought 2 flashes from both Scruffles and Crimson Lotus, so I guess it worked. And of course it got turned. Scruffle's actually burning the heal just to try to get that extra little bit of move speed to catch up to Vespion one hit away. Yeah. And then Vespion burning the heal in response, getting away with just a sliver of HP, and then like you said, got punished by Amberly while he was kind of in the shop there. And they ended up turning the entire team fight around with a good Morgana ult as well to catch a couple members there.
Yeah, Opum not having a good showing in this latter half of the early game. The Jax was doing so well. He was making so many good moves, but Scruffle's looking like he's going to get engaged on here. He does not have the ult. Featherstorm is not up, but Acterion not going to go in. The Shen ult coming down. The Stain United ready to go. Shen is now here ready for the fight. Shockwave going in big onto Vespion there. Vespion going down, and so is Acterion. 2 carries down on the side of KT Rollercoaster. This is a slippery slope for them. They are a full AD comp against a team comp that is now 5,000 gold in the lead.
So it's interesting they're prioritizing the Dragon here. I thought they were going to prioritize taking both the Rift Herald and mid turret. I think they could have pushed mid with 3 and then taken 2 of the Rift Herald. But it looks like they just want to play it safe and get the Dragon, put Shen back in top lane to put pressure on his top turret, and leave the mid lane as a potential objective to take later in the game.
Yeah.
So it may just be not wanting to prioritize that Rift Herald over the Dragon, or it may just be wanting to have that consistent lane pressure up top at all times.
I will say that Zyra does have pretty good wave clear, and she was there during that time. So it was like that they understood that they probably weren't going to get that tower, so they decided to grab the free objective in that second Cloud Drake. That is so much movement speed, Exline. Look how you can see them when they're out of combat, especially this Morgana. She ends up with like 700 movement speed. Yeah, these comps are really fast, and we're gonna have another Drake coming up that we can see here is going to be a Mountain Drake. So that means they're going to be able to do more damage to objectives. Yay! Objective control.
Yeah, like you said, the Cloud Drake is definitely the safer objective than the free objective, so I can't necessarily fault him for that. But I am a really big fan of the Rift Herald, especially if you get it right before Baron spawns, so you can potentially have that Rift Herald available for like dropping in bottom lane to create pressure while you're dancing around the Baron.
The Call of Forge shot going in. Scruffle's going to get hit up. Ball is on him though. The Shockwave coming through. He hits 2. The Featherstorm coming out. Going to be rooting up people. Scruffle's not quite dead yet. The Shaco going in trying to get some kills but doesn't quite get it. Taunt landing in onto Acterion. Ooh, the Ornn getting a lot of damage out here. Shen almost gonna kill him. Re-engage, counter-strike onto Chase. Chase gonna grab the kill though with the extra damage on that Q. Does get the kill. The knock-up onto Chase. Doesn't quite get him. Chase gonna try to return it, but health bar is so low. Only Opum going down here. Banner command used on that cannon minion, so they're gonna have to answer that here already.
Even though that ended up as a 1-for-0 in favor of Silver and Tilted, I really do like the aggressive engage
Uh-oh.
on the part of KT Rollercoaster.
Oh, rip GT28. Shaco coming in from behind doing Shaco things.
You know, Shaco finding a window to get an assassination there. But I do really like the aggressive engage there. They're behind. They need to make something happen. They don't want to just get continually bled out by Silver and Tilted picking all the fights. They found a good opportunity for a Call of the Forge God into a Yasuo ult, so I can't fault them for trying that. With as low as those HP bars were, that easily could have gone a different way. You could potentially have like a 3 or 4 for 0 or for 1 in that fight. You know, if you go back and watch that replay, maybe there's some micro mistakes where you play it a little bit differently and things turn out differently. So can't fault them for trying there. Really like the idea there, trying to force something to happen.
Yeah, they kind of need to at this point. They are that full AD comp that has fallen behind, so any little armor item is gonna make an impact here. I will say that Scruffles has gone for the Berserker Greaves. I really think he should have gone for Ninja Tabi in this game. I understand they're nerfed, they aren't as good, but they're still going to be solid and give you some armor against his full AD comp.
I agree. I think getting Ninja Tabbies on 80 carries is highly underrated. You actually do see it a fair amount in like Diamond, but you don't see it that much in lower elos, and I think that's something that more people need to keep in mind. Those that item is really strong even after the nerfs. It's still a very powerful item.
Because the biggest thing is it gives you armor just to deal with the damage coming through. It wasn't always the reduced damage on hit on auto attacks that the AD carries liked. It was just having straight up armor in a small cheap version, not having to buy a full tank item. That was always pretty good for AD carries. But in this mid game, we're going to see that the gold lead from Silver and Tilted is going to have a huge impact. They're going to have armor on their carries. They're going to have armor on everyone, minus Scruffles and the AD carry, but he has enough protection from the Morgana and the Orianna that he doesn't have to worry about it. We're going to see Athreos here going to try and assassinate people in these fights. That's pretty much all he's going to be able to do, just because it's Shaco. He's kind of a one target champion. He sees hero, kill hero. It's kind of his whole point as a champion. But we'll see. We'll see if he can do that.
One of the things they can kind of do now that they have a little bit more wave control is start to get vision control in KT Rollercoaster's jungle, or KT Rollercoaster, sorry, not KT Rollercoaster.
Yeah, right.
Once you get KT Rollercoaster's jungle warded and dewarded more aggressively, then you can start to make picks. Even though Shaco might not be the greatest pick champion in the world, obviously he's got a lot of mobility and stealth and things like that that allow him to kind of take advantage of you walking alone in the jungle without vision. You saw Jax just kind of face check there. Unfortunately, not able to capitalize on that for Silver and Tilted, but things like that, can kind of snowball a lead into an even bigger one.
He does also have that Dusk Blade, so he's going to be doing a lot of damage with that stealth. They are going to finally take out this mid lane tower, though. That's even more gold in their favor. That's only their third turret of the game, too. They probably could have gotten more at some point, but they're going to push this this top inner tower, but they don't realize that Opum is behind them. They're going to get the engage here. Espeon going down, but Scruffles does not have enough time to ult, I don't think. There he goes. Blade Caller going in. Crimson Lotus does go down in the trade, though, but Chase is going to be here. Call the Forge God going in to re-engage onto Chase. Chase getting knocked up by it. Chase is likely going to get out here because he's tanking up, but Athreos not going to quite re-engage there. Jabber Monkey is so tanky already on this Horn. Tyrion is now here. This is now a 4v4, although Scruffles has gone back, so it would be a 3v4 if they did go for this, but they are just going to back away.
So that was super messy all around. The biggest issue I think I have with that is from a macro perspective. I think I had like this weird 2-2-1 going on, and they were super deep without a ton of vision. So obviously, as you're mentioning, they didn't know that Opum and GT28 were coming along their flank, which is something you definitely want to be aware of when you have a lead. You don't want to feed any shutdown gold for the rubber banding golden experience. So I think from a macro perspective, they should have been focusing more on like 4-1 or 5-0. You could technically do a 1-3-1 with this comp, and the lead that they have, but it's a little harder to execute, especially at lower elos if you're not used to doing that. So I think just kind of keeping it simple with like a 4-1 and the Shen or 5-0 is going to be a lot safer.
Yep, I agree. The Standard United is going to be up on a fairly short cooldown. I mean, fairly short in relation to like a card that's sold, but Dark Binding being blocked out by the Wind Wall there, pretty good by Acterion, but that is a longer cooldown than the Dark Binding. Dark Binding is on only a few second cooldown at this point. You can get real close to having infinite root on the Dark Binding there. It lasts for like 3.5 seconds and has a 5 second cooldown, so there's like 1.5 seconds where you're not rooted, and then you can move around in that time, but there's the travel time of it too, so it can get pretty rough, especially since Crimson Lotus is maxing that second. Plant's gonna make Baron a little bit mad there, but not doing a whole lot else.
Morgana Root feels like it lasts for 3 years, not 3 seconds.
Hmm.
That is definitely one of the biggest feels bad man abilities in the game. Uh, just you get to watch your team get ripped apart around you while you're rooted. We do see, as you mentioned, the division play around the Baron. Neither team obviously wants to take that until they can get a little bit of advantage elsewhere. Shen free hitting in the bottom lane here. We'll probably take this turret. Actually, lost the minion wave. They'll probably get it with a wave or two. I
Yeah,
don't
he'll
know
he'll
that
likely
Nas
push
will
it
be able
in.
to hold it against them.
Yeah, Acterion, there's no way he's going to be able to match up in this matchup. I just imagine. Anyway, Chase has already built the Bramble Vest. He's going to be practically unkillable at this point. Vespion's not going to be able to auto-attack him with his AP scaling because of that Bramble Vest. Acterion's not going to be able to Q him. Nothing's going to happen to this Shen.
Shen quietly approaching the 10k gold mark. Only
Oh,
second.
boom, getting killed. Getting caught yet again. I'd say 4 out of his 5 deaths have just been him blindly walking up to a bush and dying because of it.
I think a couple might have been in, at least 1 or 2 might have been in some weird skirmishes with some counter ganks going on, but agree that map awareness would still help there because I think a couple of those were counter ganks that Shaky was able to turn based on positioning. So
Ooh, they look like they're going to
definitely
death
something
brush
to work
this,
on.
though. Chase does grab that tower on the bot lane. They're going to start up the Baron. There are 2 wards in the pit for KT Rollercoaster. They know this is going on, but Opum is not there. The Call of Forge are going to go out and knock up some people, but that's going to be about it. The ult coming out from Varus, no one's going to be there. Shen grabbing it. Actually, you're going to get a 3-man knock-up with the last stand. But that's about it. That's going to happen. Although Actrio's going to go down, but Zyra going to go down as well. Jabbermonkey getting taken out by Amperly, sorry. Vespion going to try and cue the mini wave as he walks away. Doesn't even do enough damage to kill it.
Shirelia's Reverie chased down here, and they just have better of it.
Chase is done. He's done with it. Chase is going to grab him. He's going to auto-attack him one more time. The Mastery emote as he's getting chased down. There it is. He knew he was
yeah,
done,
that was actually an early smite there. Shen actually picked up that Baron. The Shaco smited just a tad too early. Luckily, that was not stolen. But
Very
as it
luckily.
Is, Buff is going to take down the mid inhib and potentially the Nexus turrets. Looks like they're going to back off and rotate towards bottom side, which is a safer play, and I agree. I think this is fine here. You can
Yep.
guarantee get 2 inhibs here, as well as
Yep.
potentially still pressure the Nexus turrets with the run into that wave.
Yeah, they do have 2 pretty fat minion waves here. They could just rotate and grab that other minion wave if they want to try and push it for the Nexus turrets, but they are going to take the safer play and just get out of there. This does mean they can just like 5-man top lane and essentially have full map pressure while also only being in top lane.
Yeah, they've got like a collective 10k gold unspent from the Baron in the fight, so I don't have a problem with basing and buying and resetting.
Exactly.
So,
This
totally
is
acceptable.
this is good on them. Morgana has built the sort of less AP, more utility kind of Morgana that I like to see with Australia's Reverie and Redemption. Looks like it's going to be the Zonia's Hourglass coming next with that broken stopwatch that he popped earlier in the game. A Mountain Drake and 2 Cloud Drakes is the Drake count for Team Silver and Tilted. They are the fastest boys you'll ever done see. And so all they need is 1 more Cloud Drake. That's another Drake coming up in a minute 20. And that's going to be the Ocean Drake coming up. So they will have some sustain during these later portions. But We do not see them grouping towards that top lane just yet. They're just grabbing their jungle camps, rotating up there. But I really do think they need to be more proactive in this by pushing their now 14,000 gold lead.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have a problem with Shen going bottom lane with the Baron buff, the supers, and the banner of command, because that's going to draw a ton of pressure, especially as long as he hovers and doesn't get caught. But they need to be taking advantage of that pressure by pushing with 4 in the other lanes.
Call
Right
the
now
Forge
you see
God, though.
2, and they're getting caught.
Featherstorm gonna be traded for Call the Forge God. It looks like they're on about the same cooldown though, so they'll be about up at the same time. But the banner, not the banner, sorry, the Baron minion's gonna be right here on this tower. Scruffle's able to get up and hit it a little bit. GT208 looking like he's gonna try and do something, but the wind wall coming to defend the tower doesn't matter against the melee minions though. And Chase heralding in those super minions to the Nexus towers, while the top lane is getting bombarded with some caster minions.
Yeah, Chase with Baron buff and banner of command is going to put down an insane amount of pressure. And you saw he was drawing routinely 2 people over to him. So if the Morgana and the
Chase
Shaco
going in though, going in, getting the kill onto 2. The 5-man ult from Acterion looks cool. Does not matter though. That is a clean ace on the side of Silver and Tilted. Gonna go grab those Nexus towers. Gonna call it a day. Gonna grab game 1 for Silver and Tilted. Nexus Tower 1 falling. Nexus Tower 2 gonna go down as well. The Nexus itself going down in favor of Team Silver and Tilted. Amazing, wonderful play by them, taking game 1, and we'll see if they can keep it up going into game 2. What do you think about that one, Exline?
Yeah, I think that was basically kind of what we expected when we were talking about the lane matchups early. I think they just had a little bit better team composition in terms of being able to win the lanes as well as transitioning that into a mid and late game. I don't think KT Rollercoaster really had a great advantage in any facet of the game based on the champion select. So it was kind of on them to just basically outplay and use the just win team comp in that regard. But definitely some things to take away from both teams in terms of learning opportunities, primarily around vision for KT Rollercoaster early in the game, and then a little bit of macro play for Silver and Tilted in terms of closing out the game a little bit more cleanly.
Yep, I agree. But with that, we're going to send it off to a brief break, probably about 7 to 10 minutes, so that the teams can talk about pick banner for the next game, Cashes can have a potty break, and we will see you in just a few minutes.
I'm higher when I'm with you, so hold my hand, I'll take you through. I'm higher when I'm with you, you know I'm higher when I'm with you. I said I'm higher when I'm with you, you know I'm higher when I'm with you. I said I'm higher when I'm with you, with you. In our bubble, you and me, reaching places that we've never been. We make each other feel at ease. That's why you and me the greatest team. You know I'm higher when I'm with you. I said I'm higher when I'm with you. You know I'm higher when I'm with you. I said I'm higher when I'm with you, with you. She's the type of girl to treat a Tuesday night like a Friday. What's that in a cup? She don't really know, but it's working. High off these pills, 6-inch heels and attention. She might want the world, but she might need an intervention. Hey, I ain't really trying to judge you. Low-key, girl, I'm cheering for you. Now show 'em how to break the rules. So put on a little perfume. Tell your girls you're running late. Don't forget about your new shoes. You know the ones that work your leg. Ain't a man alive can stop you now. You're a highlight girl. Oh, highlight girl. To you the game is easy. Live fast, die young, speak freely. Don't let them think you're needy. Don't fuck first night, ideally, no. Look at her go. Almost done crossing off your checklist. Pulling up slow. Presidential suite out in Vegas. Oh, I ain't really trying to judge you. Yeah. Low-key, girl, I'm cheering for you. Now show 'em how to break the rules. So put on a little perfume. Tell your girls you're running late. Don't forget about your new shoes. You know the ones that work your leg. Ain't a man alive can stop you now. Highlight girl, highlight girl. You don't want a lifeline, no. You just want a white line, yeah. You're only spending time if it's the time of your lifetime, yeah. I bet you never seen a spotlight that you don't like, yeah. So gonna show me why you the queen of the nightlife. Oh, you're my highlight girl. So put on a little perfume. Tell you girls you're running late. Don't forget about your new shoes. You know the ones that work your leg. Ain't a man alive can stop you now. Highlight girl,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go with game two of teams KT Rollercoaster versus Silver and Tilted. I am still Penguin God, still joined here by Exline after that relatively short break. Here we go into game two of this best of two series. What do you think is going to happen here, Exline?
It'll be interesting because KT Rollercoaster decided to ban every single champion that Silver and Tilted played last game, with the exception of Shakeup.
Yeah.
And that's actually only because in the second round of bans, when they were getting around to banning that, Warwick had already been picked by Silver and Tilted, so they fell back on Vladimir, which was their first ban from last game, which I guess, as we mentioned previously, is something I guess they know Chase plays. So it was definitely interesting. Silver and Tilted decided to ban the Jax, even though there was not the greatest showing by Opum last game on Jax, although he did have some early pressure, so maybe they just didn't like what they saw there, and then they banned Kai'Sa out again. So pretty similar from what they did in terms of bans.
Now, Jabber Monkey does pick up the Ornn again, but the opposing laner that he has, Chase, has picked Fiora. Now that's actually a pretty solid matchup for Fiora. Fiora is kind of like the tank killer of the top lane. The higher her enemy's health is, the more damage she does, and the more she heals. But Skarner picked up against the Warwick. I always like seeing Skarner. He has an interesting impact early in mid game, but it always seems like late game he just doesn't do so well. So we'll see if Opum can do something about that. But Warwick picked up for Athreos here, kind of like um, a more beefy Shaco in a way. He just kind of goes in and CCs one person. That's about it. But then at Talia versus Lux here, we have kind of a nice that nice little poke matchup. But Lux doesn't really have a good way to prevent herself from dying other than that shield if Talia can land the seismic shove on her.
So yeah, we do have two kind of tier one jungle champions here with Skarner and Warwick. We obviously saw Skarner banned last game, and I'm sure everyone has seen Warwick either in pick ban status and solo queue for quite some time. So not a huge surprise to see them there. Both pretty adept at putting down pressure on the lanes. You touched on the Talia Lux matchup, like you kind of set up a poke matchup. I think it's a pretty interesting one. I think both are pretty good at shoving and roaming. Obviously, Talia is kind of the queen of wave clear and roam with that ult. But Lux is really interesting after the recent patch notes to kind of give her that buff on the final spark, getting a little bit more cooldown reduction on kills now, and she actually has the ability to get the resets in team fights a little bit more easily if they die right after from like an ally ability or a burn effect like that. So it'll be interesting to see how she does after those buffs.
Yeah, it should be pretty
Bottom
interesting.
lane should be interesting as well.
I
We see a
think
complete shakeup here.
I think bottom lane is going to be an absolute snooze fest. It's just going to be so safe from both sides. Silver's just going to wave clear. Tompkins should just sit back and eat her. Caitlyn and Soraka are just going to sit back and like maybe poke sometimes, but like primarily Caitlyn's just going to farm and Soraka's just going to heal up Caitlyn if she gets like poked down or something like that. Like bot lane is going to be a snooze fest. I see top and mid being the lanes where they're actually going to get stuff done this game.
I agree for the most part. I do think Caitlyn and Soraka are a pretty passive lane. I do think Tom Kench definitely has the potential to make some plays, especially with Warwick coming in on those ganks and potentially post 6 with Sivir being able to speed them up so they can run at them like crackheads. I do like Tom Kench in general, just in terms of being one of those playmaking melee supports. But it is definitely just going to be a total shakeup because all four of those champions are different from last game. Not always something you see in a game two of these kinds of matchups. But you mentioned the solo lanes having a lot of volatility in them. I think you're right. Fiora obviously having a lot of that percent health damage on Ornn. We saw a lot of potential for ganks last game in those lanes with those two players being pretty aggressive in terms of picking fights. So it'll be interesting to see how Skarner and Warwick path around those. I do think you're right that in the early levels, it's probably going to be better to look for the pathing for those solo lanes, and then probably look maybe post 6 to be making plays in bottom lane, preferably with your mid lane roaming down, especially on the side of Silver and Tilted, when you can get that Silver ult to maybe force an engage or something like that.
I will say that Red Side of Silver and Tilted has the absolutely wonderful synergy of having their clan tag be all the same thing. They
Yes.
they are all silver and tilted, all of them the most silver that silver can be, and they have the clan tag to prove it. They they are playing some good silver yellow champions and like Warwick and Lux and like Tom Kench, but um, they are synergized. They are ready to go. They want to load onto the Rift, but Blue side still has some things to say about that. Talia can just kind of clear out the waves as much as Lex can, even more so likely, just because the AoE coming out of Talia is greater than that of Lux, and Lux's roam potential isn't nearly that of Talia's. So we'll see how Acterion plays that lane.
Yeah, and in terms of team comps, to touch on this real fast before we load in, I do think we have a little bit more of a team fighting build from Silver and Tilted here. Obviously, Fiora is a fine split pusher, but Sivir and Lux obviously incentivize you to team fight pretty heavily. And then you have a little bit of pick comp action with Talia and Skarner on KT Rolster's side. But they also have some pretty decent poke as well. Poke and Siege with Kate and Talia. And Scar more of like kind of a dive and team fighting kind of guy,
Hmm.
so it doesn't have a ton of synergy there. But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out on the Rift.
Yep, each team has a little bit of everything here, but we're gonna send it back over to a wait screen real quick while we load in, and we'll see you guys in just a minute.
Cannot recall the clear space in my mind. I filled it with fire and the lies I had once believed. All the lies reveal themselves to me. I remember when I saw you from across the room. The music elevating as I made my way to you. Everything I have done led me to this. Time would move in a circle to prove it. Eternal return. Will the ghosts I leave behind help me to find you again? Where have we gone? Will I wake into a better place? Take me to my
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go, loading onto the Rift in Game 2. We have the same people, the same teams. We're not even going to bother introducing them because that would be a waste of your valuable time. Viewers are going to get right into the Rift, and we're going to see how these players start in Game 2.
Yeah, it
Now,
looks like no pings going down in terms of five-man stacks or invades or anything. Looks like getting like a fan out on both sides here. Although it
sort
looks
of
like
a,
we have a
yeah,
little bit of a Skarner Spire stack up here on the north side.
yeah, it looks like they want to grab that and start the Skarner on the top side. I'm not sure I really agree with that, although Skarner does clear out jungle camps fast enough that he doesn't really care about starting bot side. But Amperly is going to be able to see this happen because he's right there. If he decides to take a couple more steps forward using that Elementalist Lux skin, we'll see, and we'll see. Have to see the choice he makes with his uh, his transformations there. That's going to be the important thing.
Yeah, they're just trading spires here.
Hmm. trading top for bot side because Skarner looks like he's gonna actually rotate bot now that he's taken that top spire. Interesting to me that he does that. I think that he might be trying to like fake a top start, which is interesting to me. Uh, Potentially he wants to throw Athreos off of his scent. I mean, although he does actually gonna have a scent with Warwick on the in the game, but yeah, we'll see how that works out in this early game.
Yeah, I don't know that you can necessarily assume he's starting topside just because you saw him near the top spire. Although it's if you do get spotted up there, I don't have a problem going down to the bottom side and getting the bottom leash just to kind of mix things up a little bit. But it could potentially throw him off. Get under your spire. There we go.
Yeah.
I was getting a little tilted because he wasn't fully under his spire for the first part of his clear on the wolves.
So
He's under it now.
So, Exline, what do you think that KT Rolters needs to do in this early game to get a lead? Because you saw in the last game, they just couldn't manage to get that early on. So, what do you think they need to do in game 2 to grab that for themselves?
So I don't know if their lanes really necessarily dictate an early lead kind of thing. Like Fiora's not going to, or I'm sorry, Ornn is not really going to get a huge lead on a Fiora early. You know, he's just going to survive and be a tank, right? As you mentioned, Caitlyn, Soraka, kind of a snooze fest. I don't really expect them to, really be getting solo kills or duo kills, as it were here. So maybe if you can play around mid lane and get something going with Talia and get her roaming early, I think you can maybe get a snowball going there. But I don't think they're necessarily going to be dominating the early lanes, the team comp that they picked.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but you see here Athreos is going to try and sit in that top bush to see if we can get a gank off, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. All the chase is pretty low, so he's going to try and re-engage. The flash going in, Athreos is going to flash, and Jabberwocky does go down to the slide in from Chase with a flash as well. 2 flashes burn, 1 flash return from Jabberwocky, but the kill going down on first blood. Now, this has to play into the mentality of KT Rollercoaster here. They lost that first game pretty handily. They must be feeling kind of down after that. And so grabbing the first blood onto the top laner, that's already going to be a hard matchup for this Ornn. This can't be easy for them.
Yeah, we kind of talked about how Jabberwocky and Chase have the propensity to trade pretty aggressively in the top lane here, as we saw last game. And Athreos definitely takes advantage of that. We also just talked about how the Ornn really doesn't have that much kill potential solo on the Fiora, or shouldn't. And of course, he kind of greeds for that kill there on the Fiora, gets a little baited in. And then, of course, Warwick capitalizes on that. So, really unfortunate for them. As we mentioned, he just kind of needs to survive and not die. And, of course, that's the opposite of what we saw there. So,
Yeah, exactly the opposite.
Not great for them, but not insurmountable, of course.
Athreos looking like he's going to want to try and go in here on GT28. Getting some damage down. The W popped. Going to try and go in a little bit. The fear not quite landing, but Poom is here. Silence onto the Warwick. Warwick going to get eaten up by Tahm Kench. Going to get spit out. The shield going to come in. Not going to save him for too much longer. Does go down after burning flash. I don't think you need to burn that there, but Athreos going to go down to GT28. GT28 picking up the kill onto Athreos.
So that's, you asked what they need to do to get stuff done, and we mentioned roaming Talia as kind of being the key there. Talia coming down, really making sure they can just secure that clean 2 for 0 there. And of course, Skarner being available for the counter gank. And then that leads to getting this Infernal Dragon. So that is exactly what they needed to kind of get out of that 0-1 first blood hole that they had in top lane. And we actually see Talia refilling a little bit early here just so she can get back to mid lane in time and not miss that golden FP. So
yeah, you saw the
I do like that.
you saw the roaming power of the Talia there. That was so good by her and the Predator coming out from Opoom. But you saw similar early plays last game where they managed to get 1,000 gold, 500 gold in the lead, and they were able to just scrap early. But mid and late game, they were just outclassed. But I will admit that could be something to do with their team comp from last game. They had that full AD comp, so. Maybe
I'm sorry, go ahead.
that may have been something to do with it, but Chase is going to be getting a lot of damage on him there. He doesn't have the damage stats right now to really contest the base damage just coming out of Ornn at this point. He needs to be careful to not just straight up die, but he does have Conqueror. He does just heal up as Fiora, so she should be able to sustain in this lane. But yeah, we'll see how they play this small early lead. It's now a 500 gold lead.
I was gonna say, speaking of Predator, I'm a little disappointed that Warwick took Press the Attack instead of Predator. I don't know that I can respect a wolf that doesn't take Predator as their keystone mastery.
Exactly. Like he is by definition a predator, so he should have taken, you know, predator. It also increases his ult range because he gets more ult range for the more
Yeah,
movement speed he has. So simple math. Like you just want more ult range, you get predator, and then you press predator and you get more ult range. It's pretty simple.
I really like that forward ward that Tilia just dropped down in the jungle there. That's not a spot that's checked, so sometimes that will just stick around for a while and get you a lot of vision.
Mhm.
So that should give them some pretty advanced warning of Warwick coming in, even if he gets that blood scent going and gets that insane move speed. It's kind of like warding out in an Eve jungle, right? You want to be able to see Eve coming from a mile away, so you ward her camps because she can often bypass the wards in your lanes.
Mhm.
Same kind of thing there.
Yeah, and that's also really easy for Talia to get there just because that she has that passive where she gets extra movement speed when she's near walls and out of combat. She's able to roam pretty quickly after she clears the wave, puts the ward there. Pretty good for her overall. She's gonna clear the waves over and over again and kind of mindlessly do what she's gonna do. But a lot of damage going into GT28 here. Not
Talia coming down bottom here.
yeah. Looks like something might happen bot side. Talia is roaming down. She does have that Weaver's Wall ready to go. And there's no vision
Might be waiting
coverage
for
for
Skarner to
ST.
use off red buff, perhaps.
Yeah, it's possible, but Skarner does have the Predator up. He is available to do this, but I think they potentially saw Warwick go mid lane, so they didn't want to go too hard for it.
I'm not entirely sure. I think they could have forced something with Predator, Skarner 6, and Talia Wall with as far up as they are. As far as if they still are, I think they really could force something on Silver and Tilted here in the bottom lane. But it looks like they fancy trying to gank Warwick at his own blue buff here.
Yeah, I think so. They're gonna try and go for it. Excuse me. Fight going in the top lane. Looks like a dive gonna come and chase, putting the ult onto Jabbermonkey there, but not gonna go for it. You know, if you're gonna go for it and think you're gonna try, you might as well just go all the way into dive the tower. Like, you had your flash coming up in a few seconds. You might as well.
I am on the more conservative side of the things, I think, in that even if you started a plan, you're not necessarily committed to it. I'll never necessarily believe you're pot committed. If you feel like it's a bad idea and it's not going to work out, cut your losses, save yourself to fight another day. Because the last thing you want to do is go for that dive, fail, and like beat a kill, have him still live, and your team's just falling even further behind after giving up those 2 kills in the Infernal Drake earlier. Because right now that's the winning lane that they have, right? From that first blood early.
Hmm.
So I think playing it safe and not going too hand there is acceptable.
Now you see, that's probably the smarter play, but I'm not a smart man.
We have a Skarner coming in here with Predator.
Yeah, we do. Skarner just gonna ult the Fiora and no mana, no nothing. You have to burn flash. Might have one more for the dash. The Fear gonna come in though. No, doesn't quite get it. Acteria picking up the kill. For that Talia, Athrea's gonna be the next target. Has to ult away under the tower. They're gonna go for it. Acteria gonna flash Q to grab that kill for himself.
Talia putting in work. That's the second roam we've seen from Talia that paid off. And actually, if she doesn't roam up there, they might not even gotten that Fiora. I said Fiora is definitely dead here, and then she flashes away. She's looking like she might get out until Talia comes and starts throwing rocks at her face. And then obviously she's able to finalize that kill on the Warwick as well. So definitely a really strong showing from her so far.
Yeah, the Fiora was almost able to get out, but Talia is just doing so well with these roams. But Amperly looks like he's going to try and get the kill, but doesn't quite get it. The stun going out. Opum going to get some damage up. Acterion really low. Does manage to get the kill onto Opum.
Just straight jebaited the Lux. Lux
Yeah.
and Talia were kind of doing a dance around in the river for like, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds, and it just gave time for Skarner to get there from base and take her out. So
Yep.
a little unfortunate, but that's what happens when you overstay.
I do want to mention that Chase has gone for the Phage start, which is pretty alright. Again, in this matchup, gonna try and probably go for the Black Lever first. Usually you try and go Titanic Hydra, but you're against an Ornn who's just gonna build that Bramble Vest and be happy with himself. You see him even building another Cloth Armor ready to go with that armor. It's so hard to contest a champion like this. Opum is top lane though. Chase is not ready for this. The ult is not there. Spell immune.
Ooh.
Nice. Does get the impale onto her though. She is gonna likely die here. Stun going down. Not quite gets the flash out of bo2
The
though.
flash and lives.
Jabbermonkey does not have any life steal though, so he has to back out. But Icterion is here. Probably wants to go in, but doesn't have flash to get another kill. In the end, that was just a flash burn from bo2. Flash and the impale traded for the Drake in the bot side. There is a ping on it, so they do know that they're there, but that they understand that they're going to trade that because they missed that gank topside.
Yeah, going back to what you're touching on with the Phage build, I do think it's probably mostly due to Black Cleaver just being so strong against a tank like Ornn early. But also the Black Cleaver gives you a fair amount of utility in lane. That survivability, I'm sure, helped her a lot there. The move speed in, being able to hit and then run away, or just chase somebody down in a long lane like this if they get to do extended trades. So I definitely don't have a problem at all with the Phage into the Black Cleaver build if that's what we are going to see here.
It should be alright. She should be able to sustain herself in this lane, but she has to now respect that the enemy is going to try and just camp her. And that's what they've been doing for the last couple of minutes. They've just been going top over and over again, especially this Talia, because they understand that bot lane is likely going to fall for it again. Bot lane does have the Tom Kench, and they likely are just going to be able to back up from these fights. And that's going to be it for that. That's going to be it for the gank. That's going to be it for that if Talia goes bot lane. So top lane is really the only other option for her. So seeing that adaptation from the Phage build, getting that extra movement speed, I think is really good. The Ornn is just going to build armor. There's no way There's no way this Fiora is going to kill her anyway. So seeing that adaptation, it bodes well for Chase.
That's a really interesting pink ward here from Skarner, and by interesting, I mostly mean I disagree with it / it's bad. On
That
the red
one
buff there.
directly in the red pit, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so on the one hand, it's hard to say there's ever really a truly bad pink ward. Just because if it does get cleared out, you at least know that Warwick's there. So it's kind of already paid for itself in telling you that, hey, Warwick's on his red right now. So if they want to force something bottom side, they know he's there. And Warwick actually just walked past it without clearing it.
Yeah, he might not have seen it is the thing.
But
he might not have seen it. He might not have been paying attention. He might not have thought that they would have put a pink ward in his.
Leveled him.
Yeah, that was 200 IQ Skarner play there.
Okay.
That the Warwick is going to try and do the repeat of what he got for the first blood, though, but I don't think Ornn's going to fall for it again, especially considering the wave is in his favor. There's no reason for him to move forward at all right now.
Yeah, Ornn shouldn't be looking to take a fight with Fiora. Now, Fiora might be able to bait it, but you just shouldn't be looking to aggressively fight her here, especially without any help. So, we do have Skarner coming in, though, so...
Skarner does come in. It's going to be a 2v2. They call the Forge Guard coming in, going to knock up one person, but the impale on that same person does stop him from going down, but Aetherios going to go down. Lux does almost take out Jabbermonkey, but Chase can go down as well. That is a 6-kill lead for Team KT Rollercoaster, and the Reaver's Wall going to block off the Lux from coming in to help out. That is a 6-kill lead of 4,000 gold, and they're likely going to get some damage on this tower, and very likely take it, considering they have 4 members up there, 5 members up there. What? They suddenly have 5 members topside. What happened here?
Yeah, so both top laners were kind of like baiting because they knew they had help coming. Like obviously we had the Warwick in the brush, we had the Skarner coming in.
But then Jabbermonkey was like, I have 4 people coming where you only have 2.
Yeah, it turns out his surprise goon squad was actually not just Skarner, but it was the whole freaking team.
Yeah.
So, get clown stomped. But yeah, they make quick work of that. Top tower, get the Rift Herald for it, and they're actually putting a fair amount of pressure down on this tier 2 because they have so many people here, and Kate is so good at pressuring those objectives.
Yeah, they're likely going to get it here unless the Select is able to wave clear. But they're likely the Scruffles and Crimson Lotus are not going to get this bot tower now that the Ornn is here. He has so much armor. Vespion is likely not going to go down, but he does get a lot of damage onto him. Warwick does see him, flashes onto him. Barrier going onto Acterion. The Warwick so low at Aetherios, but Emperorly getting auto attacked. Aetherios not going to get hit up. Very close though. The tower is still alive in this bot side. We see that. Oh boy, the eat coming out from Crimson Lotus, but Scruffle's hopping out there. Doesn't realize he's gonna die to this Ornn if he stays there for much longer. He has ult up in about 10 seconds. If these two stay here with no mana, no cooldowns, they're dead. They're donezo.
I don't know how I feel about Skarner going to counter jungle these Krugs instead of pressuring mid, especially with the Rift Herald. I can see maybe holding Rift Herald, but I think he could still pressure mid and get a little bit more out of it than counter juggling the Krugs. But uh, it does starve Warwick out a little bit more. So I don't. It's not necessarily bad. I just don't know which one's actually better. I would probably err towards pressuring mid.
I will point out that Skarner is a good 40, 50, 40 CS up on
Yes.
his lane opponent, so starving him out is even better. It's even more impactful. He's 3 kills up, 5 assists or 4 assists up, 40 CS up. This Skarner is so far and away, head and shoulders above this Warwick. Ooh, Vespion getting a lot of damage on him, but
Rocket
the
balance.
Soraka ult coming in to help just keeps him alive there. But
By the way, that Talia pink ward still there. Has been whole game.
yep, it's a good ward.
Yeah, no, I agree. Keeping Warwick down is good. I just I kind of like, especially when you have the Rift Herald, continuing that pressure, keeping Silver and Tilted on their back foot, and just continuing to get that objective pressure down in the mid lane.
Ooh boy, that was a good snare. But we see here that GT28 is doing the typical Soraka thing, just being a help better. But Call of the Forge God coming in, gonna knock up a couple members. Special comes out, Impale going on to Impale, and so does the Warwick gets taken out. 2 Crimson Lotus gonna be the next target. Not gonna get quite taken out yet, except Acterion is gonna die for it. Doesn't quite get it. Scruffle's the next target though. Doesn't get him. Yeah, the
Daisy.
yep. They do grab. They do grab the first tower. Riptail popped in the millions, so they're going to grab the second one too. And then the Infernal Dragon is up as well, so they're going to grab this tower, rotate for Infernal, and Skarner might even be able to take it himself, so I wouldn't doubt it if they tried to push for this mid tower instead of...
Yeah, it looks like
Oh.
they are. They're going to separate out the Tench and dive.
Acterion just going ham there with the Weaver's Wall, diving the tower to grab the Tom Kench, but everyone else is up. I don't think they're going to try and push further than the tower, but maybe they are. They're going for it. They're going to go for this inhib with Shelly here. They're split on whether they're backing off.
Yeah, it's too greedy to stay.
Yeah, a little bit too greedy to stay. There were 4 members up there. It was essentially a 4v4, so they could have potentially pushed for it, but it was safer to take the free objective bot side in that other tower.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know if they should rotate to this bot tier 2 or not. They can go for it, but if they get aggressively engaged on, they have a lot of unspent gold, so they may be forced to back off of this too.
Yeah, Chase is going to go in. Acterion really low. The ult coming out from Soraka to get the healing off. The ult coming in from Warwick to get the shutdown. There is so much unspent gold. They're losing this fight. Health battery coming out. Vespion is going to go down, though. Not going to quite get a return kill. Warwick almost giving the kill over, but Opum going to try and get some damage out, but not quite enough. Few kills. 4 kills going back over to the side of Silver and Tilted.
So I'm not going to say I'm a genius, but no, it's you can just tell it's a little bit of, I don't want to say an overstay because they rotated to it, but it's just a little bit of a greed for an objective there. I like that they're being objectively minded and that they did correctly back off on the inhib, but they had so much unspent gold, they really didn't want to take a fight, and if the other team hard engages on you, you have to fight them. You can't not, and you just get routed there. So you end up giving up 4 kills and a turret. If Silver and Tilted gets back in this game, that is the defining moment to swing them back into the game. You never want to give your opponent a chance to take a fight. Even if it's only like a 50-50 fight like that, you don't want to flip a coin to let them back in the game. If you've already got a decisive lead, you just recall and take the objective. So,
This pink ward, that pink ward finally going down though. The pink ward from the Talia has gone down, and so we'll see here that Opum's going to take this blue buff, even though I think that should go over to Talia at this point. And he was even in the vicinity, so I don't understand why Opum took that. Maybe he wants more cooldown on his ult, but we'll see about that. Baron has now spawned. The big purple worm is on the map, ready to be fought over and danced over, but the gold lead is 6,000 in favor of KT Rollercoaster, and they see the Warwick don't quite grab him. Fiora is there, though. They're going to call the Forge God going onto him. This is a split call, though, because the rest of the team is not there. They decide not to go for it.
Yeah, looks like we're just going to see some vision and play around Baron here. Aggressive Skarner to kind of start that up there, but they're going to commit to this. Let's see if they back off with.
Weaver's Wall does split most of the team. It is only the Fiora on the other side of the map. Fiora looks like she's going to get engaged on. Fiora really low, but those two coming in, the Tom Kench getting really low, the shield coming in, ult coming out from Lux to try and kill it, but the Tom Kench falling, Crimson Lotus going down to Vespion. Ooh, the slow, but does get spell shield. The ult coming out almost gets the kill onto Scruffles, but they have to back off now. I don't think they're going to try and take the Baron now, but they could try and go for this inhib.
Yeah, they almost got a 3-for-0 there. Ends up just being a 1-for-0. Some really good bindings from Lux to save her teammates there. But I do think we'll just see them pressure this inhib and then probably rotate towards that bottom tier 2. I don't know if they're going to try to force the Baron.
No, we're probably going to see a repeat of earlier where they're going to try and get this inhib. They get about half damage on it. They're going to rotate bot to try and grab that tower, and they're all going to die again. That's what I'm calling. But because GT8 is separated from his team and low, and the Warwick sees him, the Warwick knows. But Vespion is in the middle of everything. Does get ulted here. Chase getting in, but apparently getting the kill onto Vespion. Vespion very important in this game and does go down. Chase gonna try and go in on Jabbermonkey, but Jabbermonkey is super tanky, but he does go down. She gets the return kill onto the Talia though, but that was a big mistake coming out of team KT Rollercoaster.
That was a really good Warwick ult over the wall to catch the 80 carry. That was not a great spot to stand. Just instantly gets blown up between Lux ult and Warwick ult. So
no, it wasn't very good for him there. He just kind of got eaten there. Acterion gonna try and back, but gets spotted out by Crimson Lotus. So
greedy back spot.
Gotta choose a different bush to back in there, buddy.
Yeah. So we're seeing Team Silver and Tilt close the gap a little bit, making a comeback.
Yeah, you see
They're not decisively winning the fights, but they're at least getting some picks. Well, they didn't decisively win that one fight, but they got some picks there. And even if they got pushed off the Baron, they stopped the Baron and they only lost one for it. Were able to still defend their inhib. So
yeah, the gold lead has increased, but not exponentially. It went from about a 7,000 or a 6,000 gold lead to about a 7,000 gold lead, but it still isn't as bad as it could be at this point. They could have lost a lot more, and they don't lose as much as they could. They didn't lose mid; they only lost the bot tower. In exchange, they got a couple kills on their side and more gold in their pockets. This Warwick is not having a good time. He's 40 CS down. He's 0-5-7. Not making as big of an impact. He did get the assist on the Caitlyn there. That ult that got Infinite Duress. There we go. Did go onto the Caitlyn, but that was about the biggest impact he's had in this game at this point.
we have somebody in Twitch chat that said we got a Fiesta, boys, and I can respect that.
I mean, to be fair, every Learning Fives game is a Fiesta, so we do see that Amberley has chosen to go the sneaky cosplay Lux, which I very much agree with. It gives me some awkward memories, but anyway, the dragon coming up is now live. It is an Ocean Drake, so that is the next objective they're likely going to fight over. Even though this Baron is live, I don't think either team is going to really want to contest it.
Yeah, but you can't really go for the dragon if Baron's up and the other team's around it because they can just rush down the Baron. So it kind of depends on what happens in the split push lane and if anybody gets a pick elsewhere.
Yeah.
I think you're mostly going to see most of this play should be around the Baron, mostly maybe towards like pushing the middle of him or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it all comes down to who can solo the dragon without being spotted. Warwick and Skarner can both solo that dragon without being without any trouble. But the question is, could they do that without being spotted by going over there? But it looks like Chase is going to be the one sliding over there and starting up the dragon. But it looks like rip Chase.
Yeah.
Chase is going to go down here really quickly.
Down here, if Team Silver and Tilted was still 4 around Baron, they could just rush the Baron. You saw a couple pings down on that. There's not a position to do it now because they kind of fanned out a little bit. But if Chase goes to do that while they still have 4 people around the Baron, then that's a lot better play because they can just either somebody has to contest Fiora at the Dragon, you can't send all 3, and then maybe you can run away, or you send all 3 and then potentially lose the Baron.
Yeah, but we see them starting it up now. Now that it's It's a 5v4 at this point. Orn has rotated. He is on the Baron, but I'm not sure they can continue doing this. Weaver Wall does cut off most of the team. Tom Kench is the only one on this side of the wall. Weaver's Wall not going to last forever, though. It does fall down. Not very well timed. Acterion getting hit up. The Warwick going to ult in to try and get the steal, but doesn't smite it properly. Very early smite from Athreos, but the kill's going over on a KT Rollercoaster. He's going to go down. The Call of Fortune God trying to get the last kill. Triple kill for Vespion's Caitlyn there. They are going to try and go top lane. I do think Vespion could just hit the minion wave in the mid once and then have that rotate that once they get the top, but they are just going to go straight top lane.
I think they might have Skarner come pick up this mid wave, or he's just going to stop to take the raids before going top. Okay.
I mean, I guess they don't really need minions to take initiative, so it's not that big of a deal, but
Sure.
they are going to take this, the top inhib, while the directed camera shows us that Skarner is, in fact, hitting that inhib.
The thing about getting the minions from mid is that it lets you potentially bring the Baron toward the next turret. With the respawn timers, it's probably not super relevant anyway, so they can just take this on the way out, be called by.
Yep. That we do see two inhibs going over to the way of KT Rollercoaster. I will reiterate to those watching, this is a best of 2 series. We do not cast the third game. If the teams wish to play a third game, they can do so in their own time. But anyway, we have Tom Kench ulting in the bot lane. Acterion going to slow them down. Chase going to likely go over the wall to meet bo2 here. That's not likely going to go. Yep, bo2 just gonna hit this. Acterion, though, is not in a good spot. Chase isn't gonna go, too far. Yeah. But he does get eaten by Tom Kench. And... Yep.
Acterion could have maybe continued riding that Weaver's Wall. Would have been super greedy, because you're basically going, like, 1v4 into the team, your team was slightly behind you, but... big enough lead that might have just been able to follow that one all the way in. If you want to be aggressive, take from me for once, as opposed to the super conservative.
Call the Forge guy coming in, though, does get the kill directly onto Amperly. bo2 gonna go in even further, pushing the advantage they have here. They're gonna push these towers down. So many super minions on the base. This might just be game here at X-Line. There's so many minions in the base just hitting the Nexus. bo2 just hitting it. Vespion gonna try to get more damage and more kills, but that is a Nexus going down, tying the series. KT Rollercoaster does manage to redeem themselves in game 2.
So closing thoughts: best of 2 master race.
Yes.
Which LCS would move to that?
So EU LCS did move to best of 2 for a while, but we stick to best of 2 for time reasons.
When I say LCS, I mean NALCS, the only one that actually matters.
Okay, anyway.
EU Flame. So best of 2 master race, Soraka OP, really good roams from Talia, and a little bit of a fiesta there in the mid game, but they cleaned it up in there.
Yep, they did. Both teams played really well in both games. I will say, each team has things to work on, and that's something coaches are going to be doing. But if you watch this stream and you aren't in the Discord yet, please do so. The link is below. Follow my Twitter. I use it a little bit more than X-Line, but still not as much as I should. Follow Learning 5's Twitter. We have one of our wonderful members of production running that. Follow us on Facebook and join the Discord. Participate in things, do stuff with us, support us, do all the things for us. But with that, we do have 2 more show matches coming up tomorrow. 1 EU show match and 1 NA show match. EU earlier in the day, and NA later in the day. Same times as today, 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern time. And until then, we will see you guys later.